at the Dickens Festival, and I'm looking at this tree, and every day for the past week as I've taken my kids to school, I've seen Bill Green from the village out here working on this tree. How long did it take from the moment you started to right here before the tree lighting to get that thing ready?
That's pretty much all day, Thursday and Friday.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many lights you got on that thing? Because I know that's the thing I hate about the tree lighting. I don't do it. I make my wife do it. I got my daughter doing it today. I won't string lights. It's just frustrating to me. So is that the worst part?
Yes. Yeah, your hands are pretty much on fire when you get home with 1,000 needle holes in them. And there's 32 strands of LED lights on it right now.
That's crazy. That's a lot of LED lights you got on that thing. What about the ornaments? Are these things that have been collected for years, for Evergreen Park, for whenever they do the tree? Where do you get these things from?
Yeah, they're pretty much from years past. We put them in storage. As they break, they hit the dumpster, and then we have to buy more. But this is a collection of ornaments, and some of them are actually from the Girl Scouts. Girl Scouts had about 20 different ornaments, handmade, that are hung about 6 feet high all the way around the tree.
How nervous are you, especially the night before? You pretty much got it done, you got everything hanging on it, you go home and you're like, I hope somebody doesn't mess with my tree.
Well, thanks for jinxing it. We're about to light it right now. Yeah, it's that's pretty much, once I light it, then pressure's off. Whatever can happen after that. But
how many years now? How many years doing the tree, Bill?
20 years.
20 years you've been doing the Evergreen Park tree. All right, well, I hope that you have yet another successful lighting, and good luck. What do I say? What do I say that doesn't jinx you? Good luck?
Break a leg?
Break a leg?
They say the Irish dancers.
All right, we'll go with that. Break a leg.
All right, thank you.
The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at the eppodcast.com.
And it turns out Bill had nothing to be worried about because the tree lit perfectly on Saturday. The Village Christmas tree over on 97th Street, right by the community center at Klein Park, all lit up. Make sure you go by and see it. They did it after Dickens Fest, after it got dark and it was cold. Not as big of a crowd as you normally get at the Dickens Fest. I think it's because, the day before, warmer. And then, the temperature plummeted. I got out there, though, stopped in, saw the kids making cookies. Santa Claus was there, and then outside in front of the community center, I saw Anna, Elsa, and Captain America. It was like two different worlds that I never thought would be together. It was strange for me, but the kids accepted it easily. Sure, Captain America's gonna hang out with the Frozen girls. Makes perfect sense. This episode of the EP Podcast brought to you proudly by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. Statement savings special, 2.5% APY. 11-month CDs right now at 3%, 26-month CD at 3.25. And speaking of those kids, get them a junior savers account with the First National Bank of Evergreen Park and help them start to learn good money habits early on in life. With a junior savers account, kids earn interest on every dollar they deposit so they can watch their money grow. Show your kids how fun and rewarding saving can be. Set them up for success. You can check it out at bankevergreenpark.com/junior. There is no minimum deposit to open. Stop it and actually see the bankers there. 95th and Pulaski in that iconic building. They love setting up accounts. They've already set up accounts for 2 of the Lanuti children here in this house. Set one up for your kid. Member FDIC. I didn't get anybody brave enough to point out their Evergreen Park VIPs, their EP VIPs, like I asked for last week when I was talking to Frank Murray, although I did get one person who was brave enough to send a message through the eppodcast.com on the contact form saying that they are actually one of those VIPs and they'll try to do better. We're making changes here. It's the holiday season. I want a kinder, gentler Evergreen Park. If I can get just one person that doesn't follow the school drop-off and pickup rules to change their ways, we've accomplished something. And with the tree being lit, we are now knee-deep in the holiday season. Remember, you can get your tickets, free tickets, for the Sounds of the Season Christmas concert at Most Holy Redeemer Church, December the 18th at 7 p.m. It is open to all of you out there. It is an annual concert presented by the Evergreen Park Recreation Department and Rich Daniels and his City Lights Orchestra. Tickets are available first come, first serve, limited to a one-time pickup of 4 tickets at the EP Rec Department, 3450 West 97th Street, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. until noon. Rich Daniels is from Evergreen Park. He has an orchestra. He's also a pretty darn good saxophone player. and he's getting ready for a concert. How are you, Rich?
Delighted to be here today. Thank you very much.
I'm a saxophone player. I played 4 years with Brother Rice under Leo Henning. I am an old school sax player. My daughter plays saxophone right now over in the Brother Rice Band and the Mother Macaulay Orchestra. She's using the same sax that I had back when we got it in the mid-'80s. And so we are kindred spirits, my friend.
Well, that's wonderful. I have the similar experience with you, as a matter of fact, because I'm also a Brother Rice alumni. I also played under Leo Henning and his son, PJ Henning, and Leo was very much a mentor to me for many years. Now, I'm clearly a bit older than you, but I was at Rice from 74 to 78. Playing saxophone in that band, and so my roots are here on the South Side and always will be, and I have a great affinity for that. And the orchestra's been featured all over the country for the past 4 decades in programs that are wide in range, but I love being back here in our community. And Chris, the program you're speaking of is something that we've done now for about 8 or 10 years in Evergreen Park at Christmas time, and it's one of 4 Christmas concerts we present with the City Lights the Orchestra each year throughout the entire Chicago metropolitan area. And that's probably my favorite, too, in so many ways, because it's part of our community and we get to come back to the South Side. And it's always a treat for us to present it. And we always look forward to seeing all of our friends and family and neighbors from the community showing up to see it.
So when somebody hears orchestra, they immediately figure, all right, it's all classical music. But you don't do that, do you?
No, it's not classical at all. It's I guess if we had to give it a name, it would be a pops orchestra in terms of the presentation. But the orchestra has worked with everyone from Sting and Garth Brooks to Ray Charles and any pop icon you could think of for the past 50 years in America. We've had great runs with great artists for many years, and so the music that we do when it's not with an artist reflects that type of style. So it's pop, it's fun, it's good natured, and all the melodies they'll hear at Christmas time are the melodies that we've all grown up with, from everything from Silent Night and Hark the Herald Angels Sing to the more contemporary songs like Grown Up Christmas Wish or Let It Snow, or fun things that engage people's hearts and their minds in a meaningful way.
Back when I was in the band, and I enjoyed playing saxophone. I enjoyed my experiences in the Brother Rice Band, and even the year that I spent at UIC. There were always people around that wanted to make it a career, and I never saw it. Like, I loved playing music, but I never saw it. You not only found a way to go play, but you have your own orchestra. I mean, you're not a member just per se of the City Lights Orchestra. It's Rich Daniels and the City Lights Orchestra. How do you get your own orchestra? Like, how do you get to this point?
Oh, boy. I think that's a good question. Maybe I lost a bet, and that's what happened. No, I don't really know how it all that. It started when I was at Brother Rice. We started the orchestra with what was then called the Big Band Machine, and specialized in music of the big band era. We had a lot of encouragement from a lot of the adults around us at the time, and people who were in the industry, from Leo Henning to a man named Jim Moore to my own parents. I can think of many, many people who did a lot to encourage us when we were 14, 15, 16 years old and started this thing. It morphed into the City Lights Orchestra in 1990, and it was just kind of a dream and a vision that I had with others, and it was a shared vision, and we made it all happen. It's been nothing but sunshine and roses for many decades now. We've employed many thousands of people with the orchestra programs across the country, and then the last 10 years, Chris, we've gotten very involved with television. I've worked for 20th Century Fox and Disney for the past 10 years on a variety of television programs, including 6 years as the music director on the television show Empire. So it's been a lot of good fortune, a lot of hard work, and a lot of drive and determination by a lot of people that helps me and the others with me to be successful in this industry. Because there is no roadmap. Like you said, when you were at Rice, getting to be a professional in this industry, there was no clear-cut path. It's not like you have a resume and you apply. You have to kind of be a self-starter. You have to kind of want it. And then with anything in life, if you want it bad enough, you can make it happen. So we're very fortunate. We've had nothing but good luck for many, many decades.
Well, remember, everybody, 3450 West 97th Street, where the community center is. That's where you pick up your passes in advance for the concert. Rich Daniels and the City Lights Orchestra, a show that you cannot miss. If you've seen it before, I'm sure you're already planning on going again. If you've never been there, it is definitely something to check out. Rich, I appreciate the time. I appreciate you jumping on the show. And, one day, maybe I'll dust off the old saxophone and I can play background to you, because I'm sure you're a lot better than me.
We'll get you a union card and put you right in there, Chris. Anytime. Let me know.
If you've been injured at work, then you need someone who will fight for the care and compensation you deserve. The insurance companies will look out for themselves and their bottom lines, not you. I'm Matthew Coleman, partner and head of the work injury department at the law offices of Parenti and Norm. My team and I have the experience, dedication, and proven results it takes to fight for your rights. Call or text me today at 312-641-5926 or visit us on the web at pninjurylaw.com.
Heard me mention at the top of the show, nobody called in to talk about the EP VIPs. I'm cool with that. We had the one VIP that promised to do better in life. I love that. But we did get our first voicemail on the brand new system. If you go to the eppodcast.com, there's a little microphone that pops up if you're on a device that has like a microphone attached to it. So like your phone, your iPad, even your laptop, I've seen it work on, where if you click on the microphone, you can leave us a message right through the website. It's that easy. You could talk about anything. This listener here discovered the EP podcast, it sounds like to me, first time ever, and felt like I should leave a message.
This was great. So much information was shared. And everyone seemed to have a nice time, a good time, actually. I just loved it. Thank you.
It was short, it was sweet, but you know what? It made my entire week. Thank you so much. We do more than give out information, though. Coming up on this show, maybe even next week, very soon, though, for the season, every year, we have the EPCHS Madrigals down here in the basement, singing on the microphones, having a great time, bringing out their holiday music that they're using for the season, all these events. And if you miss them, you at least will get to hear them and what is new for this year right here on the EP podcast. This is what they brought to us last year.
Deck the hall with boughs of holly, fa la 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 fa la la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 fa la la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. See the blazing before us, fa la 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 fa la la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa la 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 la. Follow me in merry measure, fa la 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 fa la la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, fa la 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 la. Fast away the old year passes, fa la 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 fa la la. Hail the new ye lads and lasses, fa la 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 la. Sing we joyous all together, fa la 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 fa la la. Heedless of the wind and weather, fa la 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 la.
It is now time for your EP podcast Word on the Street, brought to you by Cool Clouds Vapor Shop. And Cool Clouds Vapor Shop has moved. They are no longer at their original location. They're at 3148 West 95th Street. That's right there in that Oberweis section at 95th and Kedzie. The brand new Spoke and Vine wine bar set to go in there as well. Quitting smoking is hard. Cool Clouds wants to give you an alternative full taster bar, great CBD products. Stop it and see them at the new location, 3148 West 95th Street, or visit coolcloudsvapor.com. The Evergreen Park Fire Department over at 9000 South Kedzie, and Village Hall at 9418 South Kedzie, and the Community Center at 3450 West 97th Street. All of those places are drop-off locations for the annual Chicagoland Motorcycle Parade Toys for Tots Toy Drive. Toys will be collected until December the 20th and must be new and unwrapped. For additional information, please go to chicagolandtft.org. The Evergreen Park Fire Department is also doing a Keep the Wreath Red campaign. Here's how this works. They have a big wreath, and it's got red lights on it, and it's hung in front of the fire station. If there's a fire involving Christmas decorations, a red bulb is replaced with a white one so you can see that it happened. So they don't want you to make them do that, so they'll keep all the lights red as long as you're careful with your decorations and don't start any fires. 2 motivations for not having a fire at your house. 1, don't want to lose the house. You also don't want to change the color of one of the bulbs on the wreath at the fire station. Register for Christmas Break Camp at the Community Center, 3450 West 97th Street. EP residents grades 1 to 6 enjoy a variety of activities, including crafts, games, fitness, and field trip to the Capuano Ice Rink. They're actually looking for a skate guard over there. Go to the village website and apply. Space is limited for the Christmas Break Camp. Cost is $280, and it's 8 days. If you want more details, 708-229-3373. And if you want to get the kids out of the house, remember the youth department has open gym basketball on Friday nights, 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. Northeast Elementary at 9058 South California. Grades 5 through 8. It's $5 for the kids to get in, and if they get hungry, there are concessions they can purchase. The last item in here is brought to you by SidSauce.net. Delicious hot sauces. They're crafted here in Evergreen Park. Heck, the peppers are grown right here in Evergreen Park. They're bottled and they're delivered to your door for free. SidSauce.net. And this one is perfect. I can't wait to dive into it. The Evergreen Park Police Department has put out an alert when it comes to 911. This has already gone into effect. It went into effect on the 29th of November. If you call a non-emergency line, you get sent to an automated attendant. That means if you have an emergency and you call non-emergency, instead of calling 911, you get a computer, like when you call your credit card company, or when the computer calls you and asks you whether or not you'd like to buy something off of it, and pretends that it's a real person, but it's not a real person, but somehow it has your name, and it's really off-putting. I would not want to deal with that with an emergency. So remember, if you have an emergency, you call 911. Now, I'm going to speak from experience because I was a 911 dispatcher 10 years for the Cook County Sheriff's Police, a supervisor for about 3 to 4, somewhere in that range. If it's something you need the police for, and it's happening right now, it's an emergency. Even if you're like, maybe it's not so bad. If something's happening right there in the moment, emergency. Like the only way you should be using non-emergency is if there's nothing going on at the moment that you make the phone call. That does not mean that after your neighbor stabs the other neighbor, since the stabbing is over, there's nothing going on. No. That's an emergency call. That does not mean since the accident is over that it's not something we need the police for right away. Emergency call. I called 911 in Evergreen Park maybe 7, 8, 9 years ago because I caught kids pulling my light bulbs off of my tree in the front of my house. That was an emergency call. Not because somebody was going to die, although I really wanted to strangle all of them, but because I needed the police then. When in doubt, and this is coming from a 911 dispatcher, call 911. Otherwise, you get a computer now. You don't want to talk to a computer. All right, I'm worked up now. I need a beer. Let's go to Open Outcry.
A pitcher of beer, a pitcher of beer. Let's order another pitcher of beer. That pitcher of beer should come over here. I love that pitcher of beer.
A Beer with Brand today is brought to you by Hyatt Home Medical Equipment right here in Evergreen Park. Maybe it's you, maybe it's mom and dad, maybe it's grandma and grandpa. But why go into assisted living when you can make your home into a smart home? That's crazy. Hyatt Home Medical Equipment can set up the home to make it less of a fall risk as you move throughout the home, make it easy to get from one floor to another, set up the doors with apps so that you can just have them open and close with the touch of a button on your phone. They got the latest in diabetes control. They got the latest and greatest in CPAP technology for those of you with sleep apnea. And they have testing rooms as well. They want to make sure everything's working correctly. They're going to work with your insurance, and if you mention the EP podcast, they're going to take additional money off as well. It's all about staying independent and in the home. See all they have to offer at hhme.com or stop in and visit them today. 3518 West 95th Street here in the EP.
Microphone check. Are you recording?
Yeah, I got it.
Microphone check 1 2 1 2. I'm Mike D and I get respect. You cash in your jewelry is what I expect.
I like that. So you're a big Beasties fan, huh?
Oh, big time.
Really?
No sleep, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see you, walking around dressed like the Beastie Boys. John Brand sitting here. We're at Open Outcry, 109th and Western, and the big news is you're all grown up. You're going to start putting your beer in other restaurants.
Yeah. It feels that way.
Are you going to end up in stores too, or what's the plan right now?
That's the plan. So a big step for us. We've been open for a little over 5 years now, and the whole point of the brew pub was to build a beer brand and try to earn some trust with people on the south side and see if there is a demand for our beer. We had just signed a deal with Noon Whistle. Noon Whistle is a brewery based out of Naperville.
Yeah.
They're going to contract brew our beer at scale. They're going to can for us in their facility in Naperville.
So it's open outcry beer.
It's open outcry beer.
But they're going to be making extra. So you're still making stuff on site here at 109th and Western that people can come and drink.
Yeah.
But then you're also going to be mass producing it so you can start showing up in restaurants.
That's right. So we'll brew over Noon Whistle a couple times a month. Eric and I will be making many trips out to Naperville here in the coming months and or so. And we'll supervise the brew days. We'll get it through packaging, and then you'll be able to purchase open outcry beer at bars, restaurants, grocery stores on the south side, primarily.
So first off, where in Evergreen Park do you know any places right now off the top of your head?
I do.
I know you're
yes.
doing this, and I know it's fluid, and you might be adding some. But where are we going to see open outcry pop up in the EP?
We've always had a really good relationship with the folks at Porter Cullen's. Jerry is a supporter of our brewery as well, so we're hoping to get some beer on over there. We are hoping to get on draft over at Rosangela's. We are talking to all the liquor stores and grocery stores in Evergreen Park, so you should be able to get our beer in cans and on draft at different bars and restaurants in Evergreen Park here sometime in mid to late January.
Which beers? I would imagine Speculator. Is it just going to be Speculator, or is it going to be a couple of them?
Our first three turns at Noon Whistle are going to be Delirio, which is our hazy IPA. We brew that with them next week, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Then we'll do the German Pils that I think you said
That's a great one.
Yeah, you're a big fan of that beer,
the Southside Pod on the Broadcast Basement On Demand Radio Network listed their top 5 beers in the fall. And that was one of the top 5 beers in all the South Side.
Yeah, thank you for that. It sells really well.
And I wasn't doing it just because I like you, John.
Yeah,
it's a really good beer.
Well, thank you. It sells well in the brew pub, so we're going to package that beer. And then Speculator. So I think we're going to launch with those 3 beers. The Pils, the Hazy IPA Delirio, and then, of course, our bread and butter Speculator, the beer that we've been incubating now for over 5 years, and we've built a brand around.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
It's more than that. It's been 5 years to get to this point where we felt comfortable to be able to do this, and it's incredibly rewarding. We're exhausted to get to this point, but here we are.
Is this something you thought you would have gotten to sooner if it wouldn't have been for how the world went upside down?
I think that plans and the path was probably delayed and derailed a little bit, but nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, but I think that's cool. Just the fact that you did get set back. You know, you're like a fighter in the ring, and I think most small business owners are like that. Probably all of them. You're a fighter in the ring.
To be a small business owner,
you get beat up
in Chicago,
things go wrong. All of a sudden, you think you're doing well, you lose your footing, you get sucker punched. There's get hit below the belt, and the ref doesn't see it. You're a boxer in the ring, and to be able to fight back and get back to this thing that you probably wanted to get to sooner, you got to be super excited.
That's what entrepreneurship is. It's resilience, and it's just rolling with the punches because you get punched in the face every day, right?
Yeah.
So the last couple of years have been that. We got through it, and now we're ready to move forward again, and here we are. It's exciting. We've worked, not just myself, but everybody in that place has worked incredibly hard the last 5 years to get to this point, and it's pretty fulfilling to be able to do this. And we couldn't have asked for a better partner. For folks in Evergreen Park that have never had Noon Whistle beer before, they should run over to their nearest liquor store and pick up a 4-pack of their beer because they are incredibly skilled brewers. In fact, this is one of the reasons why we targeted and reached out to them first. We've always been a fan of Noon Whistle beer. We know some of their brewers and their staff over there. We know that they do things right. They have incredibly sophisticated quality control and testing equipment over there in Naperville. They've made huge investments in that brewery in the last couple of years. So it seemed like the type of place that if we were going to contract brew, that this is where we would want to go. And we met with them. They like us. They like our brand. They like what we've done. We've always been a fan of theirs. So it seems like it's going to be a really good relationship. This will help us get our foothold into the marketplace. And then from there, we'll see how this goes. Maybe then we're ready to take the next step after that.
So you're going to be putting this out in stores. It sounds like cans, not bottles.
Everybody likes in the can, Chris.
People like the can. Did you get crazy with the design, or did you just go with your basic black with the symbol on there?
Everything. So the grain scraper is our logo. It's our mark. It's what people recognize us as. I personally think it's one of the best logos in Chicago beer. That will definitely be used. We are working with an artist right now to help us mock up some design and artwork for these cans. But when you see these cans on the shelves, you're going to know it's our brand. Our brand is pretty tight and defined, and the black and the gold and the grain scraper. So you will know when you walk up and down the aisle at Binny's or wherever you're at, and you see these cans, you'll know it's us.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, you're getting a pretty good selection that's still up there when you walk into the brewery, because you can't get everything on the shelf. So it's still worth it coming into 109th and Western. You have a beer up right now, back on tap. You've done it before. This is not going to be in cans. This is why you get out to 109th and Western and try everything that Open Outcry has. What is back? Because I think I've had it before.
You had this beer early summer. We released it for the first time. It sold really, really well. It's an IPA called Ideate, Citra, and then two more less known but innovative, interesting hops that breweries are starting to work with more and more. One of them is called Idaho 7, and the other one is called Moeka. Both these hops give tons of citrus notes, tropical fruit, and then that resiny... That hop resin that brings some bitterness in the back end of it, but those tropical notes up front, it's a really, really delicious, thirst-quenching IPA. It's also approachable because it's not overly bitter. So people that are on the fence with IPAs could definitely give this one a try and enjoy it.
That's awesome. Now you can have it up in the cabins. Are they open yet? I know that I walked by, I saw them. They're open?
We should talk about the cabins.
This year you got two of them.
We have two cabins this year.
And you did them in two different themes, and I like them both, because one's perfect for the kids, because it's all Christmas.
Yes.
And then the other one is perfect for me, because I love speakeasies, and you did one up like you're going into a speakeasy.
Cabins launched this weekend. We have two of them going this year. The first one is Christmas morning, and then the other one is a speakeasy theme.
Yeah, and these are like heated. They're up on the roof.
Heated up on the roof.
How are they going this year? You're renting them? Or like what's included? What are you doing? You got the waitress coming up, but I mean, like, tell people about the whole deal.
Yeah, a little bit easier this year. We simplified it. We streamlined it. You call us, make a reservation. Reservation fee is $25. That's it. You get the cabin for 2 hours, and you get a full dining experience. Server, beer, food, music. They seat 8. Comfortably. If you want to squeeze 10 in there, maybe 11, you probably could do that. But I think most of your listeners have probably experienced these things before. They know how they work. Super fun time. They've become tradition in this neighborhood.
And they're heated too. I think
they're heated.
They're not sure about what it's going to be like, but you have they're insulated walls with heat inside of them.
That's
so
correct.
You're not up there freezing.
They're cozy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear open-toed
shoes. There with your shorts. If you're one of those Southsiders that's wearing cargo shorts in January, you're probably fine. But most of us will have to wear regular winter clothes.
I would put a pair of socks on.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
But
you get to experience the Open Outcry Beer Garden in the winter when the snow is falling or when there's snow covering the rooftop deck and the buildings around you. It's a really nice experience, and it has become a tradition on the south side. We see the same families now coming in every year. We see families coming in from the outer suburbs as well, where they'll make one trip a year to the 19th Ward or Evergreen Park or the south side, and it's usually to come for the Open Outcry cabins on the rooftop.
Awesome. All right, so you got cabins. You got a beer that's back. You got this IPA. Definitely come out here and try it. It's awesome. And then also you have the cans that'll be showing up in liquor stores. You're going to be showing up on tap. That's happening after the holidays. So before the holidays, if you want to have Open Outcry beer, your crowlers are back, right?
Mid to late January. And again, I want to thank some of our partners on this, that when we called them up and told them what this next step is in our business, right away they're like, we're in, we're going to support you. The folks over at Porter Cullen's, some of the liquor stores in the neighborhood, once again the Evergreen Park community has been nothing but supportive of this brewery and our business over here, and I can't thank everybody enough.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, hey, John, every time I stop in here, you got something going on. I did. Now I'm just going to have you. I can get your beer wherever I go.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too.
Nice to see you. It's always a
Good to see
pleasure.
you as well. All right, let's have some beer.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Another show is wrapped up. Another show's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. And then by the looks, it's going to be a good one. And we'll see you next week. And the nudist basement. And the nudist basement. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And it's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. Nudist basement. Broadcast basement. The nudist basement. The broad basement. Slancha.
The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at the eppodcast.com.